Call of Duty World at War is the best. Even to this day, it's still the greatest game you can ever play. There's a reason to it, that it's great. And the reason is it shows a lot of that, horror of the World War II, how horrible it was. And it wasn't, something like in the lines of, yeah, World War II wasn't scary and all that stuff. That's what modern generations say, but in my opinion, this was the scariest as it could get. And along with the music, it gives you that goosebumps when you play it. It has that really, the atmosphere that scares you, the atmosphere that gives you the creeps. And this isn't a joke. This isn't only the campaign. It's the multiplayer and the zombies, which we'll get into later. And Call of Duty World at War is one of the uniques in the list. It's different from the others. Different from the first three COD games and the later World War II COD games that came out after it, which was Vanguard and Call of Duty World War II, which was released in 2017 or 2018. And not only that, it still holds up to this day, even though it's a 15-year-old game. And you might ask, what if a player who never played World at War, who never played a World War II COD game, if they went back and played World at War, heck, even if their first COD World War II game was Vanguard, if they went back and played this game, I believe they would say this is the best, as it gives the experience that Call of Duty World War II 2018 and Call of Duty Vanguard never did give them, or never could give them. And it shows them what a true World War II looked like. I believe Call of Duty World at War is showing what the newer World War II games don't show us anymore. And Call of Duty World at War came at a time where, sure, World War II games, FPS World War II games were oversaturated on the market. There was a lot of them and people were just sick of them. But it still managed because it was different from the other World War II games. And anyone that played this game will agree with me on this topic. Before we get any further on this, before we get to the other parts of this segment, I wanted to talk about the difficulty, the hardest difficulty, which many of you know. Veteran in COD World at War is just extreme. With the nade spams, the enemies always are on you, the AI, to be precise, the friendly AI being the dumbest of them all, and the enemy AI being the smartest. Heck, I'd say way smarter than the later COD games AIs. Well, the newer titles anyway. You see, back in the day, Call of Duty on Veteran was hard, it was annoying, it was challenging, it was tempting. Modern Warfare is trying to go back to the old days when Call of Duty was very hard. And to be precise, Modern Warfare 2 2022. which I appreciated, and I hope that one day I can experience it, if possible. But until then, we're gonna have to wait on that. But one thing's for certain, one thing Treyarch did on the campaign difficulty, which is veteran, there is nade spam. Constantly, you're being like forced to move around because of how much grenades the enemy has. The enemy AI has infinite amounts of grenades that they'll throw at you and you alone. Well, 99% of the time. They throw it at you, and 8 grenades, you can't pick them up all in 10 seconds. So, good luck. That's basically it. It's like the game developers at Treyarch were like trying to make this as challenging as much as they could, in which they succeeded, but it became the most difficult game to beat, as you couldn't even do a no def run, even if you wanted, which, whoever can do it either had an RNG or they were just good at the game, or maybe both. But this could be me playing veteran for the first time, as that's the case. I only played veteran for the first time. So, yeah, you can blame my lack of intelligence, skills, and many other things. So, I have no problem with you guys calling me a worthless noob trash player. So, there. You can do that, obviously. But, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. Now, before I get any further, I wanted to talk about the musics that were in Call of Duty World at War. And the thing is, it really fits. It really is good. It really fits with the game. It is truly... There are a lot of great musics in this game, and they were all composed by Sheen Murray. And if he's watching this, I want to say thank you, because you made some of the best musics for this game that, I sometimes go back and hear it. Heck, I'll put some of them here. So we have talked about mostly pretty much everything that makes Call of Duty World at War the best. And some people could say that the campaign is good, or some say it was good, but was that the only thing? Was that the only mode? Was it only the campaign that made the game good? What about the multiplayer? Well, the multiplayer, let's just say, on PC, I have a bad luck. I cannot play multiplayer, and the reason being you can't create an online profile. Some bizarre reason. The reason is unknown, but it's a bizarre thing. You can't create your online profile, so therefore you cannot play the multiplayer. You can only have an offline profile, which I know it really sucks. It's kind of like games for Windows Live, but different variant. That's like, burned into the freaking game than to be some sort of a software like Games for Windows Live. Games for Windows Live was a software that would show up every time on games that are, let's just say, are like Grand Theft Auto 4. I think it was a thing for World at War. I believe that, but I've never seen it on World at War. It could be that Games for Windows Live was the only way you could create an online profile. That's why the online profile, when you create it in World at War, it doesn't work. But you can play in different ways, like using some softwares, that lets you play online. The thing is, though, that I use Plutonium, and in Plutonium, let's just say there is no one playing. Maybe for like 2 to 3, 4 people that are playing, and then when I go in, that makes 4, so 4 players in total, and then the rest are basically bots, which that means there's no challenge on the multiplayer side. And this is only a thing in the multiplayer side, which is weird. And given the fact that there have been a lot of people replaying this game in 2023, the multiplayer is popular, but that's only on the consoles. So, well, I guess, we can say multiplayer is just dead on PC, which is weird. Maybe people don't use Plutonium. Maybe you guys use like something else. I mean, you could let me know down in the comments. Fortunately, I got a match with 6 people, which I have footage of, and I played like 3 deathmatches on that server, and it was good. It really, it was the first time I played multiplayer all time, because a long time ago, like 10 years ago, I didn't know internet was a thing. I didn't know this game, you can play Call of Duty World at War in multiplayer. So it was really, pretty fun, playing it. And it was my first time, so what I can say is that the multiplayer is still fantastic. And it's similar to Modern Warfare's, but different in a lot of ways. Some things are replaced, in terms of naming, in terms of abilities. The abilities are the same, but they're done differently. Instead of calling, I don't know, the freaking helicopter to shoot the enemies, like in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, in Call of Duty 5 World at War, you basically call in the freaking dogs. The dogs freaking do a bunch of crazy stuff to the enemy, and I love it. Multiplayer is, good. It might not be high on popularity, and, that's the case in Plutonium, but in, like, consoles like Xbox 360, PS3, Xbox One, you could have a blast. And I recommend you guys play this game on Xbox if you want to play multiplayer. with your friends and just random people. But if you want to just, I don't know, if you just have the PC version and you still want to play it with your friends, in a multiplayer, co-op, or any other mode, you can try Plutonium. That's the other way to fix it. But sadly, until I figure out what am I going to use for multiplayer, and to precise, only multiplayer, because the other mode, the special mode, as I'm going to call it for now, for the few minutes, it's popular. It's freaking popular. Yeah, in Plutonium, there's at least about, I don't know, thousands of servers. I think it was around 2,200 or something servers, and in all of them there is about, in total, 1,000 player playing on those servers, which is weird. That special mode is better than multiplayer. What's going on? Well, I guess we'll talk about it in a bit, but multiplayer, good. I enjoyed it, even though I played with like 6 people, plus like a few bots in there as well. I still had a blast. The guns are great. In fact, I love what they did with the MP40, and people, when I saw old reviews of World at War, people, in the review videos, some of them would say the MP40 was really something in the multiplayer. And I can see why, because I have seen it, and I have loved what they did with the MP40, and if you play it, you get my catchings. Or should I say, I'm just going to say it right now. The extended magazine, the scopes, the sights that you can put on your weapons, attachments, right? And it makes the MP40 the best gun. But I wonder what will happen to the PPSH-41, which is my favorite. And that goes for the Thompson as well. Because these attachments, you couldn't find them in the original game, and it just makes me get curious on what the other attachments, what the attachments on other guns are like. And yeah, as far as I can tell, multiplayer, very, very good. I give it a, 10 out of 10, obviously. That's how good it is. Now, the zombies mode of Call of Duty World at War, where it originated from to begin with, yeah, zombies was, as some of you know, sort of an Easter egg they kept in the game, and it was something that they were working on, the developers working on it during their free time, the little they had, and, everybody at Activision, the executives, all those higher-ups played the mode, and they enjoyed it, so they said, what, keep it in the game, and there was nothing to promote this mode. No advertisement, no commercial for it. It was kept there for people that have beaten Call of Duty World at War's campaign. So they would get it, people that finished the campaign. And me being one of them, I finished the campaign, and after the credits were done, basically I saw this cutscene, and then there was this person running towards me. Like, there was thousands of persons farther away. I didn't know at the time that they were zombies or whatever. They were the undead or whatever. I'm like, why the hell is he running towards me? And then I saw him running in a weird way towards me. It runs towards the freaking guy, the character that I'm seeing the cutscene from, basically. The Marine. And everything goes black, and it says Nazi zombies, and I'm like, what the f... And at the time, I couldn't pronounce it right, so I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is this part of the campaign? I was so confused at the time. I was really confused at the time. Like, what the hell is going on here? Didn't I just finish the war or whatever on the campaign? And I get into Knock, and then I hear this freaking laugh, and the freaking woman that says, you know, it has that scream or whatever it's called during the, you know, opening of the game. You heard it in like the first minute of first second of the video, I hope. Where it says, that played, and then the atmosphere of the map is just so terrifying for me, and it's at night. All those weird horror movies are set at night, and I'm so terrified. And I see the Nazi soldiers coming towards me in a weird way, and they have yellow eyes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It really terrified me at the time, and to this day, when playing Knocked in World at War, it still like terrifies the shit out of me. And the zombies then have these weird iconic sounds, like the screamings or whatever, like they do in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and later on in Black Ops 3 they have different sounds than the previous games like World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2. It's just, they were different, they were silent most of the times, and then when the rounds got higher, when you got to the higher round, like say round 12 or something, the zombies would like laugh or something. They wouldn't laugh, they would bark at you like as if they were dogs or whatever, and they would, you know, kind of try to scream, but they sort of had these weird sounds that were not of normal humans. Knock might have been something, but you know, I have to say, it's not because of nostalgia or anything like that, but I believe Knock is still like a good map. You know, I know it's bare bones, it's very simple, and you had no perks on the map. You had like a flamethrower and a Thompson to get to high rounds, such as round 5262, something like that. I mean, someone by the name of Krups, I hope I said that right, reached that round, and it's the highest round he has ever reached, in which, you know, I really wonder how people can do it, how people can stay calm, not be scared of the zombies. You know, they got some guts, I'll give them that. And, you know, since we're talking about World at War, I have to say, zombies is very good on World at War, except you can, you know, since it's World at War, there are some glitches with the zombies, there are some collision problems with them, and when they want to attack you, they do 2 hits on you and you're dead. That's why people get jog on World at War, and many other later zombies Call of Duty games. No, it was fun. Even though I've played it like a bunch of thousands of times, a dozen times to be honest, it hasn't changed. It's still really, really good, and it's addicting as far as I can tell. But anyway, World at War Zombies, it's really good. You know, it still holds up, and that's shock. You know, it's really shocking to me that a mode from 15 years ago could still hold up, even though it was its first time, you know, that it was introduced to the world in 2008. In conclusion, Call of Duty World at War is still one of the best of the best. It's one of those best games, those hidden gems, or soon it will be a hidden gem if it doesn't get a remaster like the original Modern Warfare got. But it was fun. It was good. It really, you know, in terms of stories, it was good. It was historically accurate. You know, the guns, historically accurate. They look good. Heck, even the 1911 looks very good. You know, the weapons look good in general. You know, the characters, iconic characters like Reznov, you know, whom is voiced by Gary Oldman. You know, iconic. He's very, very great. You know, he works very good with this game. And, music, pretty good. It was really accurate, and it's still unique for what it is. And it offered a lot, for a World War II game. It offered a lot, much to the later COD, World War II COD games that came out after it, which they felt like a downgrade. Well, most of them anyway. Mostly, right. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.